It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish.
Happy Sunday, Dishin Days fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve up a full dish of Peacock's #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I am Araceli Aviles, filling in for Tony Moore, who is out for the day. And to my this direction, we have...
me, Michael Mattis.
And down here we have...
Hey guys, Justin Lee Hareld.
Ryan Gosling. No, just kidding.
Yes, well, we'll be talking about Ryan Gosling throughout the show. If you know, you know. But until then, welcome to all of our fans for joining us on this wonderful Sunday. Before we dive in, I want to go through our little chit chat and make sure you follow us on all social media. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on X. I have to say that, and Threads. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, like us. If you like us and you want more of us, please subscribe and like our videos. Also, please remember to, if you're not already a member, join our exclusive members only page, where you will get exclusive content from us, as well as access to our I believe it's bi-monthly, is that the right term? Bi-monthly private chat, where we discuss,
every other month,
where we discuss all things Days of Our Lives, just with a little more intimacy, one-on-one.
Oh, don't make promises you can't keep, Araceli. Intimacy. Intimacy.
Okay, it's a nice group chat. Let me rephrase that. It's a nice group chat. Also, I want to remind you to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. If you cannot catch us live on Sunday, you can catch up on us during the week, wherever you are, on the car, in traffic, trying not to desperately not waste gas, or at the gym, or riding your bike, trying not to waste gas, you know, getting that springtime exercise in. Take us along for the ride with you and make it a lot shorter. Also, make sure to follow our good friend James Lott Jr. over on JLJ Media on YouTube, as well as wherever you find podcasts. You can find him there. He covers the remaining soaps: Bold and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Beyond the Gates, as well as exclusive content that you can only find on his channel. So make sure and support our friend.
Because he's old. There. You have a very old comment. I don't have anything more creative than that.
because he is older and wiser and knows probably a lot more than we do.
No lies told.
I can say it and be very respectful about it.
You can say it a nice way.
Yes. All right. Before we dive in, what did everyone think of this week's episodes?
I thought this was a decent week. We have some stories transitioning, and there were a couple things I was like, oh, that's how that's ending. Okay. But you know, for the most part, I thought we had some good interactions and some good movement. Yeah, and I'm a lot of things are piquing my interest about what the next happenings are.
Yeah, same here. I thought we definitely had some good movement on some storylines, and yeah, I'm definitely interested in a few and see how they're going to pan out. But yeah, I like this week.
Well, I am. How many weeks away are we from Easter? 2 weeks now, I think. 2 weeks away from
today.
Yeah.
2 weeks from today. Let's just say that my commitment for Lent is really trying me.
What was it again? You're not supposed to swear. You're not supposed to scream.
I gave up negative words, so not necessarily curse words, but like trying not to approach, you know, people and situations with negativity, like not like outwardly saying someone's a bitch or something like that.
Oh.
Guys, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. Even in the fictional world, I am struggling. So that's where I am.
Okay. Should be an interesting show after Lent is over. Well, actually, I don't think we usually do a show on Easter, so
yeah, we don't do it.
Maybe that's a good thing because we won't you won't go overload with
Yes, so you could tune in the following week after Easter to get Unfiltered Me back. But until then, let's go ahead and start today's show. It is now, and I don't have an hourglass, so we're just gonna have to pretend.
Oh, no, I have mine. I'll use mine.
Oh, that's right. Yay, Justin coming through. Okay, and then I'll count us off. It is now time to start.
Dishin Days.
Dishin Days. Yeah, switch it and put it right over here.
Thank you very much. All right, for our first storyline, we have Apology Tour. So this is wrapping up the Stephanie and Jeremy, because he was kidnapped as well, Stephanie and Jeremy kidnapping storyline, and everyone involved in that rescue, and now the resulting chaos that is, surrounding not only the kidnapping, the aftermath of the kidnapping, and also the reveal of what's inside the lab, at least to the rest of Salem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they were found. Glad they were. This kind of is moving on to its next iteration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how long Stephanie's going to have these reactions to things, and if that's going to be an ongoing thing. And yeah, everyone having to kind of eat some crow around Jeremy Horton.
Yeah, not enough. I was like, not enough.
I Jada. I appreciated her.
Yeah.
She went in. She seemed sincere and started her conversation with, a sincere apology. Alex is just that dude. You know what I mean? Alex is just that dude that even though he knows he's wrong, even though he's got full context of the situation, his dickery just can't allow him to eat some crow and apologize. But I have confidence he might come around before. We already know Jeremy's leaving, so hopefully before he leaves, we'll get some sort of more sincere apology from Alex.
Yeah, Alex's apology was a little too weak for me. Like, I appreciated him going to Jeremy and apologizing, and I did like the added touch of offering him the reward money. I'm glad Jeremy didn't take it.
Yeah.
So I like that little bit of it, but I feel like it could have been a little more like hat in hand kind of a thing. But funny you say that, because I think at the end when I don't know, I feel like they had a little bit of like a pissing match at the end there, where I feel like he's not going to be. So that's probably the nicest he's going to be to Jeremy moving forward.
I know I remember it, but I don't remember what was said.
He said, he asked, I think Alex asked Jeremy, like, are you still leaving town? And Jeremy was like, you know what? I might stay now. And then I think it clicked in Alex's head of like, oh shit, like, is this a result of whatever went on in that room that I still don't know? He's still kind of blind to it.
Yeah.
What happened or what they went through.
Here's the thing. They don't need to be friends, but yeah, Alex needs to take a page out of my book for Lent. And if you don't have anything nice to say, just say nothing at all. Because you don't have to be friends with the guy. You have to like the guy, but you have to admit that you were wrong in this one instance and apologize, and then just keep your mouth shut if you can't. If you can't handle it, if you can't handle being, even a little bit nice, just shut up. It's really okay.
Yeah. That's just that's Alex is just, like I said, he's that dude. He's too what's the word? Got too much of an ego. His ego won't allow him to.
Yeah. And then the thing about that is that, whether or not Jeremy stays or not, we don't know, or we can assume. But or at this time, I don't think he knows. But he's making it very clear to Alex whether I stay or I go. I'm no longer basing that decision on you and what everybody else thinks about me. I'm gonna make that decision based on what I think is best for me, which is really what he should always have been able to do in the first place.
Yeah. Well, now that he's, because before he was leaving because he kind of felt like he was in an impossible situation. No one believes him. No one thinks the worst of him. So why stick around? But now that public opinion is changing about, now he's thinking like, oh, well, why should I be run out of town now? So if I were him, I'd stay around.
Mm-hmm. And on an editorial note, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'll circle back around.
There's some delays.
I can't tell. I was gonna say, is there still a delay with me? I don't know.
Yeah. A little bit.
It could be my computer or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it feels like a little not needling everyone, but like you said, just staying around to be like, you know what? All these people owe me an apology, and I'm gonna bask in whatever goodwill is gonna come my way because they've been sort of shitting on me for the last 6 months of basically. So maybe I should say just to get some of that goodwill.
Yeah, what Victoria is saying, Jeremy needs to sit in Horton Town Square and just be like, apologies here. Come take your turn. And just check out the list. Just be like, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And I do a small editorial note on this. Is that there are moments we've talked a little bit about the pacing of the show as of late and how some things are slower than others and some conversations are way too long. And it got me thinking about moments that we need to see where everybody finds out something, like when somebody's kidnapped. We need to see that moment of everybody finding out that who it was. And I think this was one of those moments where I think we as an audience would have wanted to see everybody apologize to Jeremy. At least everybody, I would have enjoyed, somebody brought up Maggie. I would have enjoyed Maggie apologizing to him. I would have enjoyed seeing Steve and Kayla apologize and also thank him for keeping their daughter sane and alive. That's the other thing. I don't think it's just the apology that Jeremy is owed. A thank you is owed. Because
and I'm sorry and a thank you. Yeah. But and we still have time to get there.
I do think about it. I want to see that. I think we need to see that. And I think that Stephanie needs to make clear that she could have been there alone, but she may not have survived because remember that she was severely dehydrated, she was loopy, she was despondent, and Jeremy being there gave her hope. That was what he gave her when they were in there. He was just constantly propping her up and literally and figuratively and just saying, we are going to get through this, we are going to get out of here.
Victoria's on a roll. JJ's been more than Jeremy. It's like we didn't even see JJ do anything. And everyone's like, good job. Attaboy. I'm like, wait a minute.
I had that exact thought. Why are people thanking JJ and even Shawn? Why are people thanking them at the end? They had they searched for a long time, but they didn't actually find them. They weren't actually present there to find them. They were searching the completely wrong places. Yeah, no, they didn't have anything to do with it. I would say, thank you for all your hard work in trying to find her, but no, you didn't actually find her.
No, and you know who we have who figured it out? The dumbass himself, Brady. Brady's the one. I was the other week during those episodes, and he just casually in conversation was like, "Oh, Owen Kent," and they were like, "What?" What? I'm like, y'all, that's how we're figuring this out. Brady Black had a thought. Very kind of anticlimactic, but at least they got there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is anyone else though a little I don't want to say anticlimactic. I feel like there's so much of this story that could get revved up again, but I feel like the wind is taken out of my sails knowing what we know, and we've talked about this before. Jeremy is leaving the show. or Michael Rourke is leaving the show. I don't think we have any word that there's a recast, so we're assuming the character is leaving. But it's like, to me, this is where it gets interesting now, because they've had the bond, and I mentioned it last week that they do have chemistry. I don't know if it's romantic chemistry. We'll see. But I do think Abigail and he do have chemistry. Their characters have chemistry. So this is, to me, where like the interesting part now, because now you have the softening of Stephanie to Jeremy. You know, that's like an opening for a friendship. It could be opening for trouble in her new marriage with Alex. And it's like, I don't know, it's like you can only do so much. He's here for another month. So you can only do so much. Well, you can in that month. Maybe we'll get some reverberations from it. But I don't know. I'm sort of like, that part of me is what got excited when they were in the room together and we saw her like softening to him. I was like, oh, maybe not necessarily a love triangle, but I was like, ooh, this could be interesting. They're newly married. You have this other guy coming in who she may like trauma bond with him, not to be so current, but who knows what their relationship is going to look like after this.
Well, and when the other factor arrives in town that we know is coming back.
Exactly.
Old Stephanie might need a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
And there you go. Could be Mr. Jeremy Horton. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I'm just glad it's now finally transitioning. They were found. We're moving on.
Yeah. And if you guys did watch our interview with Abigail Klein 2 weeks ago, she definitely let us know that she's as of last 2 weeks ago, her character is still dealing with this. So if this is something that's going to carry for a while, it's still affecting storyline in the next 11 months, a year or so.
I was going to joke and say like 26 months from now, we'll see.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot of outcome from it. So it looks like this is only like, a small part of the whole saga, it would seem.
Yeah, it's she's obviously coming out of this with PTSD, and then it's the factor that she was kidnapped twice by the same person, who's actively obsessed with her. There's a trauma in that will like, oh, am I ever gonna escape him, kind of a thing that is different when you've had a stalker. Like, and you talk to anybody or you see any interviews with people who have had stalkers, that's the nightmare, because it's like they never go away.
I've never had one. Have you? Either of you like had a true stalker?
No.
I would really hope it's not that common.
It wasn't a stalker. I just had a girl in high school who would incessantly try to be my friend and leave to the point where my mother would like imitate her voice messages to me. And then finally I don't want to say got rid of her, but like, through school, parted ways, whatever. Then she found me on Facebook like 5 years ago. Every day sending me a message through Facebook Messenger every day. Michael, I'm not gonna say her name. But like, yeah, and I had to block her. I'm like, this is literally almost 30 years later, and it's like not changed. That's the closest to stalker I got. Luckily, it was never dangerous or anything. But that
I do have to ask: did she know you were gay?
Most of my high school knew I was gay. Yes.
Okay. So okay.
There was no...
Okay. I feel like that is a pertinent question in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I feel like I'm too introverted to ever have a stalker.
True. You do stay in a lot. That probably plays in your favor.
Yeah. Can't get me if you can't find me.
And you live with a lot of people, so it's like there's no like sneaking up on you there, right?
Oh, I know. I wish I could hide. Sometimes I wish I could hide more. That's the thing.
You wish you could hide from them. Oh.
No, I'm literally trying to get new signs for my door. That's how badly I need to hide. Like it's not enough. There's actually a neon sign on my door, and the neon sign is not enough.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that bad. But anyways.
Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, but anyways, so Stephanie will be dealing with the repercussions of this for a long time.
Yes.
But on the flip side, there's still an active investigation going on. Owen was obviously caught. But there's still the matter of EJ and his lab and all that was and was not found in there. And once again, I feel like EJ just jumped not EJ, Rafe jumped the gun. I'm gonna charge you with this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, sir, what proof do you have?
Well, I mean, there's what at best he had what is it? Oh shoot, what is it called? I hear it on Dateline all the time. Not plausible deniability. That's something completely different.
No.
Reasonable suspicion.
Reasonable suspicion or reasonable, like they had enough evidence to suspect.
Yeah, they totally.
So that's how they can arrest somebody. Now they didn't have enough to hold him, but I did enjoy the scene with Dan and Martha, the interrogation scene. Those two do have. I don't want them back together.
Yeah.
No.
I do like the way they kind of they play cat and mouse off each other. So, but yeah. So, and now Lexi's been moved.
Yeah, it made sense why he was arrested. I mean, and truth be told, they don't know that, but we know that he did know about the kidnapping. Yes, it was last minute, but he also could have. They could have been rescued sooner if EJ wanted them to, but he was hedging his bets and also not caring about whether or not they were killed or even insisting on maybe they should be killed. So, EJ doesn't get much sympathy from me regarding that, but I do see why they would bring him in. I mean, they're found in a part of your secret lab, even if you didn't know most of it, or most of the duration of their kidnapping that they were there. That's sort of plausible deniability, but once you find out it's like and do nothing, you're just as like culpable. But yeah, I did love his like back and forth with Martha there. Like this is where I like them. It's like this is like the chemistry that they have, explore it here, like going back and forth, because
now there's like it's not a romantic thing, but it's kind of a rivalry between them. I feel like Belle is determined to nail him for something, and now that may be like an ongoing thing where like she gets him, but then he gets away with it. She'll get away with it, and then eventually she'll nail him, and it could be like an ongoing thing.
But it's an interesting quandary because they all assume that he's doing something unethical. True. They all assume he's doing something illegal. True. I think somebody even guessed right in grave robbing. Also kind of true. But it's the subject of all of it that would be the only thing to give them pause. It was the only thing that gave Paulina pause, or that once they actually find out who was in the pod, it's really gonna put all of them in kind of a sticky spot, because it's likely that he'll succeed in bringing Lexi fully back. What do they even do then? First of all, what do they even charge him with? Second of all, would anybody even want to charge him at that point, because Lexi is just so beloved?
Yeah.
It's almost, and we're also talking about, I mean, and legally speaking, how do you charge someone with bringing someone back to life?
That's what I was thinking in the conversation with him and Belle. I'm like, what technically, I would be curious to know what laws he's actually breaking and what they could charge him with for this when they find out. And even he made a comment about like I can't remember what he said, why it's not illegal, but he even made a point about it. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
And then the one scene that I was actually really, really interested, that I was like, holy moly, was EJ and Kat.
Oh, like the continuance of the kiss?
Yes, yeah, because their chemistry was. I mean, their chemistry has been pretty much simmering for a while now.
Mhm.
And we've had conversations about, is she just playing him? Is this more attached to something that actually did happen between them years ago that neither of them can remember at this point? But if I don't know if that chemistry from that kiss is any indication. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still hard to tell with me. They do have chemistry, and I do think she likes him, but I can't. Like the kiss, I'm like, was that really real though? Like, because she was tasked to keep him busy and keep him in the house, and then we also, when she talked about their moment before when he was unconscious, I was like, is that a lie? I'm assuming that was a lie, that she was just
I think it's a lie. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it. I thought so too.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, are we gonna see another, hidden memory or something come to light? But yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, I don't know. Because originally my thinking was when I thought like, oh, they knew each other from the clinic or the rehab, whatever. My thought was that she was gonna soften to him so much that it was gonna get in the way of her doing her job. But we're not getting that yet. And we're not. Like, we're getting her kind of softening to him, seeing him in a different light, but not really. And like it should be laid on a lot thicker by now. I think even when I think it was it last week? I think Rafe asked her like, "Oh, were you?" He even like made a not a joke about it, but he even sort of like threw it out there, like, "Oh, are you liking him a lot more or softening on him?" Or however he phrased it. It was like, oh, I don't know yet. It's hard to tell with her.
I think she's doing what she needs to do to keep EJ in her good graces and to do what she's supposed to do for the job. But I also think she doesn't mind it. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's, I think that I do think there's feelings on her side for EJ, but I think there's feelings there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that we're that's going to get really complicated really quickly. I mean, this time last year, I was all about Kat and Chad, that their chemistry was off the charts, but they did let that, no, it was good chemistry. It was good chemistry, but they let it linger too long.
Oh yeah. They let that. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one, this is almost the opposite. This, I feel like the simmering is at the exact right speed because both characters are actively engaged in their projects right now. Her in leading a double life, trying to take him down, him and trying to bring back Lexi. It's not like they're floundering in other storylines. They're actively doing the things that they need to do in their lives, and this is the kind of slow burn that works. Because not only is it a slow burn with them on a day-to-day basis, it is also trying to dig up stuff that we don't yet know about, that they don't even yet know about. So it's keeping it active and keeping it going. This is how you do it.
Now, if we're here in 6-7 months still talking about how they're simmering and how they're slow burn, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Then we got a problem.
Yes, and you will hear me. I will be well past lunch. You will hear me screaming my head off at that point.
And it'll be interesting. Someone reminded me because I was like, "Yeah, Chad's gone now," but yeah, we're getting a new Chad in a month. So if they pick up with Chad and Kat, if they try to pick up with Chad and Kat, or how EJ and Kat progress over the next month before Chad comes back into the picture, we shall see.
Yeah.
Bring on Connor Floyd.
Yes, please. And then there was the once EJ was out of jail, there was the conversation, and it's amazing how much EJ can get done while he is actually in jail, courtesy.
Well, he was a busybody this week. EJ.
He was busy.
He's been a busybody like for the last couple of weeks, but
yes, and obviously
time away.
obviously Rita was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but at he's sitting in jail and everybody's thinking, Ray's probably thinking, oh, I finally got him. But little does he know, like Lexi's already been moved. She's somewhere safe. Rolf is out of reach. Nobody knows but that he is connected to Vivian's and Yvonne's disappearances in halfway across the world. So yeah, he's been busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we also got the conversation with Gwen now. And again, I think we talked about this the past couple weeks. We're getting these little not flashes, but little beats here of him becoming the new Stefano and his anger boiling up and him sort of raging at different points now. And
hand when he gets
So I don't know. It seems I don't know if there's more to the story than that, other than he's becoming the new Stefano. But it feels like every week they're reminding us he has some sort of confrontation with someone where they flash on the ring, or he touches the ring and he feels something from it, and he's bubbling up with rage. And it's like, I get it, but I don't know if what's the bigger point here. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been happening now for a month, so it's like, okay, what are we leaning into him crossing a line and really becoming badder than Stefano? Because I don't know. I think he's playing it even keeled now, even with being EJ.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there might be this misconception of EJ being the next Stefano in that he has to mirror Stefano exactly, or he has to be exactly do exactly what Stefano would have done, and I don't think that's the case. EJ is EJ. He has a different history. He has different relationships with his children than Stefano had with his. And so we don't know where that is going to go. So I think EJ will find his own way of being that is akin to Stefano, and also his own philosophy. Because remember, so Stefano also had his own philosophy, like the Phoenix will always rise kind of a thing. He was always about cheating death, about, the family resurrection kind of a thing, and resurrecting life. It seems like EJ is taking that an actual step further with Rolf's help. And so maybe he just takes Stefano's methods and moves it a step further. Yeah, I don't think it necessarily has to mean that he is exactly like Stefano.
Yeah.
But yeah, that blow up with Gwen was.
I love him and Emily O'Brien though. When they get in those fight scenes are just I'm glued. That's what takes me back into the show. Is those two bouncing off each other like that? It's good soapy drama.
And this is what we talk about when we talk about chemistry on the show. It's not necessarily romantic chemistry. You just put two characters in a room who just work so well off of each other, and they could absolutely hate each other, and there could actually be no sexual chemistry whatsoever, but they just play so well off of each other, and then they work off of their spontaneous reactions in the moment, and it just works.
Yeah.
No, totally. They're so great together. I hope the show keeps them together. Again, it doesn't need to be romantic. Just keep them as dastardly family members who, Also, I don't know if I said this before, but I think why I'm loving this pairing so much is that we've never really had EJ have a friend. You know what I mean? Outside, they've gone back and forth. They've gone back and forth with he has a closeness with Tony, or he has a closeness with Chad, but it's never really been a friendship. And I think this is the closest we've ever had. In the past, it's always been him and Sammy, or him and Nicole, or him with the woman he's with. And it's nice to see him have some sort of a platonic relationship with the woman. I'm not crazy about when he tries to pull rank over Gwen, because I feel like they're equally yoked as partners, but I like their chemistry. I like them together. And so I hope the show keeps them together in some shape or form for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it with that storyline. We'll see what comes of it in the weeks to come. We'll move on now to someone else's PTSD that showed up at the absolutely worst possible time this week, which was JJ in the middle of a shootout with Vivian's henchman Klaus. So Klaus has been lurking around town. Whilst Vivian is being kidnapped and or otherwise in Alamainia, he still has his orders to dispense of Liam, so that there's no actual direct tie to Vivian being responsible for the Demera kidnapping, even though EJ already knows and seems to have already taken care of the problem. But gun drawn, JJ froze after lengthy conversations with Theo, with Abe, with Jada, all about how he's doing the work and he's ready and he's committed to everything. And moment of truth, he wasn't. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, this is the part of it I actually like. I think this storyline is so funny because we like JJ has been so in and out the past. This started like maybe 4 months ago when they
it's just been so disjointed and it weeks will go by and we won't see JJ and then he'll pop in and then he'll pop out. Now suddenly it's just this like went from 0 to 100 in the matter of like 2 episodes. But I'm not mad about it. Like I'm glad they're finally making something of it, and it's not just continued conversations with Theo, and they're finally copacetic and why can't I say his name? Theo. Theo is they've moved past it. So yeah. Now again, this is another transition, and then I just felt bad that hey Shawn Brady, beginning of episode, end of episode, you've been shot,
and we haven't seen you for months. But you come back to get shot.
But that's also a mechanism to transition, I think, to usher in a new storyline for what we kind of saw at the beginning of. When we get to that part of it, we can still focus on the JJ part of it.
Well, the JJ and Theo part, I think, like, needs to be put to bed. Like, we don't need to talk about it anymore. They've healed their friendship. We don't need to rehash that anymore. But the kind of the dichotomy of JJ's PTSD in not being able to pull the trigger in a moment where he absolutely had to, he had full justification for doing so, versus Shawn's PTSD from an incident where people have argued should have shown more hesitation when he shot his father, and had that comes with his own regret but luckily we're a couple years away from that, so it's
I don't believe it. Yeah, that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
He's worked through that. And now he's telling now he's on the other side of that, and he's telling JJ, no, you should have taken the shot. It's kind of a weird reversal where, JJ took a shot he shouldn't have, and this time he froze. Shawn took a shot he shouldn't have, and this time he took action.
Yeah.
I like Shonda. Shonda, if he'd just waited for his food. Lesson to everybody: when you're waiting for food and you get called into work, wait for the food.
I know.
Nothing good can happen if you abandon your food and go to work.
Part of me did think poor Roman. He's like, he can't.
That food is going to come out and be like.
I was like, Shawn, say something to Roman.
Yeah, I gotta
go.
You tell the chef that you cancel my order. I have to go into work or put it in a to-go container. It's the polite thing to do.
Keep it under the heater for me. I'll come back.
At least when Paulina yelled at Roman and told her to take her food away, she apologized for it.
That was funny.
Oh, God. Yeah,
that was funny.
I did
but
think about
we've all had those
moments, and that's I was like, oh no, not again, Roman! Don't make the corned beef and hash. He won't eat it.
Corned beef and what did he?
Cabbage,
Baked
cabbage,
steamed
Baked
cabbage,
cabbage.
something that would not. I don't want to be in a car with that person.
You just put it all
Know
in
what
a
I
crock
mean?
pot. It's not really that hard.
I'm thinking of the after effects of eating
Yeah.
corned beef and cabbage. Like, don't come within a mile of me.
Yeah, no, I went the other way. I just had beef stew for St. Patrick's Day.
All right.
Yeah, that turned out good.
What was I gonna say? Okay, so we were talking about well, wait, what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about so the shooting and then the aftermath of the shooting?
Yeah.
I did crack up when they showed JJ wake up in the hospital room and his eyes open, and Shawn was just staring daggers at him and was like, "You motherfucking shot me! I'm just waiting for you to wake up, asshole."
Although it's
Staring daggers
like
at him.
at first I was not sure if that look meant what I thought it meant. I thought it was going to be another psych out moment, but I'm glad they went in that direction and Shawn called him out, because it's like, hey, I'm sitting here with a bullet wound in my leg. You don't think I have a right to be a little upset?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad they made Shawn sort of angry. I did also with you think it was going to be a fake out at first, and he either wasn't going to remember or he was going to rely on JJ to have to tell him, and then it was like, will JJ say something? I don't know. So I'm glad that was put to rest, and he was rightfully pissed. Like, dude, like, what the fuck? And,
Well, and I'm also glad they didn't bring Shawn back just to like put him in a coma or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it sounds like it's just like gunshot, as simple as a gunshot wound can be, and that's it. He just needs, to sit behind a desk for a while, recoup, and he still has his faculties about him. And what's his face is dead.
Good.
Klaus,
What's his name? What wasn't it? Klaus.
Yeah. He can't come after Liam now.
Right.
Yeah. And then on the Liam side of it, I'm glad that he it seems based on Belle and Jada's conversation that Liam actually isn't in any trouble right now.
Good.
Which I'm glad for, because he didn't actually do anything wrong. He got rightfully scared and ran and then
out of there quickly.
Yes.
Which no one ever does. No one ever runs, like, you know what I mean? When the gunshots, like in real life, you run or you hide. No one ever does that.
If somebody's shooting at you, you run.
Yeah.
So he didn't actually do anything wrong this time.
Liam did the same thing he did when he was at the Demira mansion and the bones fell out of the coffin. He's like, peace. What I didn't particularly care for was JJ interrupting Liam and Gabby.
Oh,
and being like, you know what this asshole's done? I'm like, JJ, go sit down and drink your fake beer, please. And then Theo, which I know Liam and Theo have a history and whatever. Theo bugged me during that conversation. I was like, he was just kind of smug and sanctimonious. And I understand why, but I don't know why it bothered me that he was just kind of needling Liam a little bit.
Theo didn't bug me because I think he needed to say.
Who did I say? Did I say Gabby?
Oh yeah, all right.
I said the wrong name. I meant Ariana when Liam and Ariana were talking. Yeah,
I think Theo needed to say his piece, just like Liam needed to apologize. I didn't get the high and mighty sense from him. I think he just was. He ended up in the hospital with a head injury. He has a right to be upset about that. The JJ part, I'm like, dude, mind your business. That is not your kid. She's an adult. If you want to go and let her mother know what is going on, it might be none of your business. But like even that, I would kind of understand, just because it would be kind of like a, hey, how's Ariana doing? Kind of a check-in kind of a thing. But actually inserting yourself in the conversation with a child that is not yours, who is a grown adult, can make her own decisions. Like if someone is going to interrupt, like her great grandfather is right behind the bar. If he wants to say something, he can say something.
The part of that situation I did enjoy was that every time someone would come, she was like, oh, that's my cousin Theo. Oh, that's my uncle, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's my great grandfather. Or that's my, like her family, everyone that's coming over is related to her somehow. I thought it was kind of cute.
See, that's the part that I actually liked. I liked it from. It's funny you said that, Araceli, because I didn't even think of the Gabby connection. I was thinking the familial connection that they're cousins. But it's funny you brought that side of it up too. But yeah, I'm with you, Michael. I enjoyed it more from the running gag of, he's bothering us. Oh, he's my cousin too. Like the fact that you have the one character who is probably the most related character to everyone. I'd say
probably, yeah.
She probably is. I think, yeah. So I like that there's this running gag of like every time he sees her with someone, it's like that's a cousin or she's related to
my great grandfather. That's my second cousin. That's my third cousin twice removed.
She's a Horton. She's a Brady. She's part of
Yeah, when you're both a Brady and a Horton, it makes it really difficult to date someone that is not related to you. And then she's also part of the Hernandez family. So yeah, she does need a love connection that she's not related to. And that's really hard to find in Salem.
Yeah. But I continue to like their chemistry. This one was very low stakes for me because I do think people are brought up in the past before. We've talked about them as a couple, like they've talked about a possible age thing, and they've also talked about like he's trouble and will he drag her down. So I thought this was very low stakes for them to get involved, where he's not wanted by the police, but he did have sort of this violent altercation. He did get, I guess he got grazed because he didn't really get shot. Yeah. It was more like a grazing. So I don't know. I didn't mind like her helping him in this instance. I think if it was something a little bit more serious, I wouldn't dislike them, but I'd be like a little bit more cautious with them. But I like that this was pretty low stakes for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed. And it is a nice reminder of Ariana's maturity, as are other storylines this week that we'll get into in a minute, but that Ari is actually quite mature for her age. She really, really tries not to judge people based on their past. She bases her opinions on their current actions, and if she sees someone,
she was vehemently suddenly against.
I think that was I think that was a little different because I think that just hit too close to home in terms like because he hurt not one but both of her dads. I think she would have the same opinion of anyone who hurt her parents because she's just so protective of her parents. But I think that's that for anyone else, I think it's like he said, you don't have a problem like that. When I was in jail, I've had trouble with the law. I was like, nah, my mom's been in prison twice. I don't care. Yeah, so I am willing to like them more and more if we approach this slowly and like you said, Justin, low stakes. Like let's not put them in like immediate jeopardy and say, oh, let's run off into the sunset together. Like no, it's like they both, if anything, they both have led such complicated lives at this point that they need low stakes and they need the let's get to know each other part.
Yeah, totally.
How do we feel about this kind of reintroduction? It looks like they're reintroducing a Jada, Shawn, Belle thing.
No, for the Belle part, I love the Jada and Shawn stuff. I felt like it got dropped before for some reason.
It did, yeah.
And then I like that. Yeah, the Belle part was like weird to me. I was like, please don't. It's like stop trying to make fetch happen, Like
I think it was just an impulse.
Already been gone. Yeah, I hope it doesn't materialize into anything. I hope, I don't know. My thinking is Belle is gonna walk in on them and be like, okay, maybe I need to step back a little bit, but
yeah, I think it was an impulse and kind of a device to show that you can be friends with your ex, that down the road if Jada and Shawn become a thing, it might be a little awkward at first given how close she is with Jada, but they have genuinely gotten to a place where they only want the best for each other, and so I think that, and to show other couples who are
Yeah, I think what just put me off a little was when it was like, well, I'm gonna move in with him to help him. And it was like, wait, did you talk to Shawn about this? Like, maybe he doesn't want his ex. Yeah, he loves you and yeah, you get along, but maybe he doesn't want his ex-wife. You know, that part I thought was just a little bit over the line. So I was like, oh, like it was a little cringe for me, but
I think it's like
I hope it works itself out.
I think it's more the emergency contact instinct of like when you're someone's emergency contact for so long and then they find someone else to be their emergency contact, that it's kind of just like just a little transition at first, just a transition period.
LOL, Jada dumping Theo? ? Like, are they?
Is there a Jada Theo?
You can't dump someone.
Is there a Theo in anybody? Like, he went out. They went out. He and Jada went out a couple times. He's been dreaming about Gabby. Like, Theo doesn't even know who he's with. Come on.
You can't dump someone when you're not a thing.
Yeah, at least it looks like we did get a little Theo Ari thing. I felt like that. I don't know. I felt like that was like a closing of the chapter in case anyone was holding on to anything. It was like, okay, they went out, they had a little coffee date, but that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have. I mean, that might have made more sense, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, on to the next storyline, which is Breaking Point, of which Ari has rightfully reached hers. Before we get into the particulars of you know why things are happening the way they are, I just want to say round of applause for Ariane Horton, a mature young adult who is setting boundaries in her life and refusing to be treated badly by a guy, by a friend, by a parent, by anyone. Bravo to you, girl.
Yeah.
I was sad about, like, I'm sad that their friendship is fractured, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sad about that part, but yes, obviously Holly not intentionally is very toxic right now, just in that, you know, and I think we're on the road to them figuring it out and whatnot, but it was sad, like that little like goodbye scene where they like decided, you know, one of them should move out, and well, I was legit sad. I was like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how those two are in IRL, if they're friends or whatever, but their friendship on screen, as characters, really read as really reads true. But what bugged me was that Holly was at the like, it took so long for someone to be like, oh, Holly, let's get some blood work done on you.
Yeah.
That has taken this long. And I'm like, you're at a hospital talking to Dr. Sarah Horton. And Dr. Sarah Horton's not saying like, oh, let's get some blood work drawn. Like, Sarah Horton could easily order her like a complete blood count and probably see that some levels are messed up. Now they finally got there. Holly went and saw a doctor and whatever. But I'm like, wouldn't that be one of like the first, if you're like, if you're telling a doctor, whether she's your actual doctor, your doctor, your whatever, and they're saying, and someone is saying like, I'm having these mood swings. I took a pregnancy test. I'm not pregnant. I'm not sure what it could be. I'm taking supplements. Wouldn't go first thing, a blood test. It took so long to get there. We finally did, but that's what was bugging me. Like, when is someone going to bring up getting some blood work done?
Yeah, I feel like they were stretching it out. First, it was is she on drugs again or using again? Then it was is she pregnant? Then we got a small little bleep of maybe it's the birth control. And so
they switched the birth control.
Yeah, we're slowly getting there, but I'm glad we are getting there, and it's not being even dragged out more. You know?
Yeah, I was getting frustrated that like the Holly herself was realizing that, and no one mentioned it. But then I'm like, oh, I see how they're gonna. I like how they had her give Tate the pills instead, like kind of a switcheroo kind of. I was like, okay, that's. I was like,
yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, Because like
And
that,
that's how
we're
much-
really gonna know something's wrong now.
Yeah. But then I'm like, what's Tate? I'm like, oh, what's Tate gonna do?
Well,
Like,
I mean, if he has the same reactions that Holly's reacting to, that's gonna send up immediately red flags because not only is Tate not a teenage girl, he's very much not a fly off the handle person ever. If anything, he's like his father, he's too wishy-washy.
Yeah.
So if he has the same reaction where he just goes suddenly flying off the handle, then it sends up immediate antennas.
And not on birth control, so
Yes.
that kind. So yeah.
Yes, and I was in a private chat this week where somebody was asking about like why would it be such a birth? Why are they asking about the birth control? Why are they wasting time in the birth control? And I had to explain like, no, that actually is a legitimate. That's actually a legitimate problem with women that you have to do, like, because it's not. People say, oh, just take the pills. Like, no, you have to.
Like,
Yeah, it's when people say take the pill, it's a hormone pill, as in it messes with your actual moods. And taking the wrong one can not only put you in more pain, it can make you go crazy. It could cause more problems. It could cause more problems medically. So yeah, you actually do need to pay attention to that if you're a woman. Let me school you on that. Yeah,
and I mean, even like when on the man side, like men take testosterone supplements, it can mess with their, it's called roid rage. Or if you're taking like a steroid or something, like these things that affect your hormones can affect you not like in really nasty ways. And it's a matter of like either regulating it or trying an alternative. So, and it's the same, ladies in birth control. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yes, and it was also and it was also smart to actually show Sarah taking a look at the active ingredients in the supplements, because again, you start taking over the counter stuff, vitamins or supplements, won't have you think that it might be safe, but unless you tell a doctor, you don't know what drugs interact with what in your body. So yes, consult a doctor.
And those supplements aren't, over the counter stuff. The approvals and regulations can be loose, and So, but yes, she finally got the blood test. She gave the pills to the boyfriend. So Tate's probably going to take one, start acting a fool, and then hopefully the whole scheme of the pills will unravel. But then it's going to come back to Rachel. It's going to be like, Rachel, why did you give me these?
And we got a new Rachel this week.
Yes.
Who pinched the fuck out of Marlena. She's like, you tell me my cookies aren't done?
Okay. All right. I need to advocate on Rachel's behalf this week. So I really do, because I am so terrified that Marlena is going to use that as a reason that Rachel needs more therapy, needs to go back to baby or what have you. And that would be such an overreaction.
Wait, really? I thought wait. Okay, let me ask you, what did you guys think of that? I thought she was being a brat to Marlena, not that. Yeah, that's how I interpret it.
Yeah, and then she
that's how I interpret it. But I don't know if that's how Marlena interpreted it.
I think Marlena is
suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. Like she acted like she bought the whole, it's because you're not wearing green and it's Lucky Charm Valentine's shit.
St. Patrick's.
Oh my god, St. Patrick's Day. It was St. Patrick's
Day.
And yeah, but I think Marlena's probably like, all right, keeping my eye on you, little shit, like pinching my ass like that. No way. Like, I had to rewind it because I first missed. I was like, what did she do? Did she hit her? It's like, oh no, she pinched her.
Yeah.
All because she said the cookies weren't done. She's like, oh, these cookies aren't done, baby. I need to put them in the oven. She's like, oh yeah.
Well, somebody reminded me of that we only actually have one scene left from the last like 2-minute preview, and it's of Marlena saying that she thinks Rachel still needs to be in Bayview.
See, I think Rachel needs help. I don't necessarily think Bayview's the best
place.
No.
Unless
they did some reorgs and
I actually
a new doctor in
wholeheartedly
there.
agree that Rachel does not need to be in Bayview because one, Sophia is there, and that's a bad idea. Them interacting anymore is a bad idea. Two, the doctors are clearly not doing their jobs up to snuff. And three, I actually think Rachel is getting better. But my fear is that feels very doughboy. Yes, as if we all in our childhood did that. Even though we tell the kids don't do it, they do it because they
No,
hear
but this time Rachel
playground.
had the demons in her eyes.
Yeah,
when
she
she
had
did
a good grip on.
that was a malicious pinch. That wasn't just the LOL, I'm a kid pinch. That was a you've wronged me, woman.
Yeah.
You.
Okay, yes, but sometimes you get the you wronged me pinch, and sometimes you get the nice pinch. It depends on what kid you get, but it is a kid thing. Look, some kids. I was swatted on the head with a stick the other day. Look, it happens. Okay, things just happen. That doesn't mean that you're dealing with a demon.
But with Rachel's history and the look in her eyes, we can pretty confidently say that was not playful pinching. That was the demons coming out.
But in comparison to where
the stick on the head, I don't know. Maybe that was that was probably playful.
But that's the thing is that you can't do, and that is my fear, is that you can't compare Rachel to other kids. You can only compare Rachel to the person that you want her to be in the progress, or shall I say, the progress you want her to have, which is what they talked about when they put her in Bayview, to make sure that she has proper impulse control, knowing her boundaries, knowing what is an adult conversation and what is a kid conversation. Those are healthy steps. Those are healthy boundaries and lines to draw. And a pinch on St. Patrick's Day and being manipulated by a severely ill young adult. My fear is that those are going to be used as excuses to say that she should be put back in Bayview, and she should not.
I also think it was a little like not like wink or nudge to the audience, but a little like just a beep of we haven't changed the character. You know what I mean? I feel like it just sometimes
since it was
recast, like a new person, they probably just want to establish like, oh no, we're not making her a good girl now. Like she's still badass Rachel, on the road to recovery, but slowly getting there. So I think I thought the pitch was probably a little bit of that too, to be like, okay, she's not, we got a new actress, but it's not a new character. She's still the same.
We didn't switch
Rachel
actresses to take the character in a new direction.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still a little demon, or she's still got some demons in her.
Yeah,
and the new actress so far has played the role perfectly.
Yeah, she's great.
Yes.
Really, really good. Really good.
She's really good.
Solid casting.
Yeah. So let's look. This is Kristen DiMera's child. She's always going to be Kristen DiMera's child. So there's no way for her not to be a little out there. But again, you can you can be that character with boundaries. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's going to
also,
be really, really hard.
There was something about her getting that package at Marlena's, and then she immediately called Sophia, was like, you sent it to my grandma's house. Like, something about that made me laugh so hard. Like, it didn't even occur to me like that's where it was being sent, because I guess we never really knew the address. So I guess it was more of like, oh, it's going to Marlena's for some reason, which doesn't make sense because Sophia wouldn't know the new address.
No.
So that didn't even dawn on me, but something about that just made me laugh when she was like, bitch, you sent it to the wrong address. Like, you almost got his caught. Like,
dumbass. Yeah.
It was like, and she seemed less sympathetic this time. It was more like she was on board with it. Like the past couple of times, she's been very reticent about it, but she was all in this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we? That we have a sound off regarding this situation. Shall we take a listen? All right.
Hey guys, it's Megan from Massachusetts. I just got to keep talking about these pills again. I just think it's crazy that a child would even be able to get a hold of supplements or medication of any kind at her age, like 10 or 11. I don't think that would be really possible. And very irresponsible. I'm really glad that Sarah is finally starting to think about what the ingredients might be, and maybe we're finally getting to the end of this ridiculous switched supplements storyline. Say that 3 times fast. But I think that we finally need to see this come to a head and see Sophia get what she deserves coming. Also, Peter Port should never cut his hair. Okay, bye.
The hair the Peter Port hair has grown on me. At first, I was like, oh no, but he looks so good with the nice clean hair. But now it's grown on me. Maybe because they're like styling.
You need the right mousse for that hair. That's the thing. Is that you need the right mousse for that hair, because if you put gel in, it gets too. Like, it looks crunchy and greasy at the same time. So you need like a light mousse to just keep it fluffy. Yeah. I know what I'm talking about.
That kind of hair, like, I know if I grew my hair out, it would look similar to that. It wouldn't be as dark. It would be very gray. But yeah, I know, like, product just weighs it down or like freezes it to makes it chunky, and it's just not good. But
mousse, not gel, people. Mousse, not
gel. Yeah.
Yes.
Beauty tips from Araceli Aviles.
Yes. But back to the pills. Yeah, I don't see a way out of this for Sophia, because she's just gone way too far down the rabbit hole. But I guess we'll see just how much farther she has to go next week. There is one more piece of the storyline that we have to cover that's just it's not related to the pills, but was in conjunction to Ariana. So Ariana gets in a fight with Holly, goes running to her mom, obviously, for support, right in the middle as Gabby was about to, I guess, confess to Philip her bad deeds.
Yep. Well, saved by the Ari bell.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I doubt that when they come back to it, like when eventually she and Philip have a moment and he's like, oh, what were you about to tell me? She's going to be like, I didn't shave my legs that day. It's not going to, she's not going to tell him that she was working with Tony.
Yeah. And there was a weird part of this that I do want to touch on, because I, again, thought I missed something. It was one of those moments where it's like the transition was just so awkward into this storyline, where you had Philip coming up behind Gwen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are probably the 2 characters on the canvas the most that have never interacted with each other. Not in business, not in their personal life, been on this canvas for years. Both of them had never interacted with each other, don't have any connection to each other. Why is he talking to her?
Yeah, I thought that I had completely forgotten that they didn't actually know each other. I assumed I knew they weren't they didn't scheme together, they weren't part of each other's storylines, but I hadn't realized they haven't even met before, which is odd. You think for as much as she's been on the show now for a few years.
As long as they've both been on.
Yeah, they've both been on, and yeah. So when even they were introducing each other, I thought it was gonna be, and I thought I instantly tried to scan my memory bank of Days storylines to be like, how did they know each other, or what,
or maybe they met when someone else was saying Philip, or
something. But
yeah, Gabby has more of a connection to Gwen.
Yeah, but it also didn't make he also didn't hear a conversation, so why would he randomly just be behind her? I don't know. It was a very awkward interaction between those 2. I felt like it could have been a little smoother or something.
Yeah, no reason was given for why he was talking to her. It was all just very weird. And you know what's even weirder, guys? Emily O'Brien actually broke a glass on set.
I thought that looked real. And not...
It was real. Do you know how rarely that happens? You have to have an actual scheduled and scripted bar fight for somebody to actually break something on set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once it happened, I was like, oh, that looked kind of real. Like,
yeah, and I looked at the glass afterwards, and it was like I could see the jagged edge. I'm like, oh, she actually broke the glass. Oh my gosh!
And she did. They made she mentioned you made me spill my drink and broke the glass. Or
yeah,
they wrote it in.
Yeah. I mean, those glasses are not cheap. I mean, they're for me because I know what I'm doing. With props, I know where to get the cheap ones, but still, it is hard. It is hard to replace those things. So, especially a martini glass.
Yeah, I just wonder if that's the beginning of something. Maybe not necessarily storyline, but these two characters converging on something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
it seemed a weird. There wasn't really like a point A to point B with them. Like Philip and Gabby still could have had their conversation without Gwen being a part of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's gonna lead to something. Who knows?
It was all very strange.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Nevertheless, we move on. So before we move on to our tidbits, I just want to remind everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all Dishin Days goodness. Please follow us on social media, Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on X and Threads. Not only subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, like our videos. We want the views. Please make sure to also join our exclusive members only page if you have not done so yet. Make sure that if you cannot watch us live on Sundays, you can catch us later on not only on YouTube, but on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And be sure to follow our friend James Lott Jr. on JLJ Media for all other soap content. All right, we have, I believe, only one tidbit today, and that is the gays are gaying. All of the hot gay men are not in Salem this week.
So I'm going to echo many of people's pleas because anytime Colton Little is on as Andrew Donovan, I think this guy is just solid on screen.
Yep. Just
like fits in so nicely no matter who he's acting with. And if the issue is that they're like, if the issue is they don't want to bring Andrew back full time on his own, that it would have to be like him and Paul, thank you, who was there but off screen this week. Like, just bring Colton back by himself. Like, he doesn't need to come back with the man. Like, that can be part of the story. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just echoing the pleas, the plea, the what I saw online this week, because he's just solid and he fits in so well.
Yes.
And I did think like I was actually entertained by Leo this week.
Yeah. Look,
being all concussed and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
look, this is both a selfish. Look, this is both a selfish and an actual critique, a legitimate critique that we are giving right now. Selfishly, we personally love Colton Little. We want him on the show more. There's not a person who has met him, a fan who has met him, that does not love him. We want him back, period. From a storyline critique standpoint, he does fit very well with the show. And you could see that in the way where he was interacting with Leo and Dimitri this week, because these are not characters that would normally interact with each other, but they brought back, again, best way to do that is to bring back history. They brought back history on the show. This is what happened in the Beyond Salem saga, where Dimitri actually had Andrew kidnapped. And so, Andrew was not going to let that slide. No. And he actually had no ties to Leo. Leo was probably like the one gay character that didn't have any interaction with Paul or Andrew. Not any serious interaction. I think he had some interaction with Paul back in the day, but it wasn't anything serious. And then but they brought back all of this history. And then Andrew's a legacy character. He's a Brady, he's a Donovan. We want more of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what I disliked about this was all of the work that Dimitri and Leo did to try to uncover that Dimitri was being held captive there and was not there on his own, but on free will. And all it took was Andrew talking to one person. He came in and was like, oh, well, she's totally exonerated you. So great. I was like, wait, that's it?
The badge helps.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was just so kind of anticlimactic. Now, then the kicker was Vivian and Yvonne are now missing, and he thinks Dimitri did it.
Yeah, which seems
No, he's not off the hook yet, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even get that leap. I'm like, he
was
needs them
little
alive to like, dissuade his case here. But like, I agree. I think the highlight of this was the highlighting the history. And we've gotten that a little bit. They've like hinted at it, but I'm more curious about. We know, of course, Dimitri was an IS agent. We saw that in Beyond Salem, but like, ever since then, this is where we're getting the little like drips and drabs of it, of like how long he was there. What did he actually go through the training? Like how much of it was a front, and how much of it was just like them throwing plot out there. And I feel like they've been leaning into the fact that no, he was not illegitimate, but he infiltrated the ISA. It was there for a minute for him to have these relationships with people. So like that's what made me perk up of like, oh, I want to see more of this history between Andrew and Dimitri. Like this is something that could connect them. If they did bring Andrew back, like this is another avenue to go down, or having them be at odds, or maybe they worked a few cases together and they were friendly, and then like Andrew was really pissed because he felt betrayed. Like there's stuff there to sort of mine that I think would be interesting. And like I said, Echo Colton is amazing and great, and bring him back. Figure it out. If you can't get Paul back, then Paul's on a mission somewhere and Andrew is stationed
There's
there.
plenty. If you need an Asian American actor, there's plenty of them here in Los Angeles that would probably love a contract acting position.
Yeah,
that could fill the shoes. But maybe that's who knows what goes on in those offices. But. Nice to see him. That was nice to see him this week. It was just perfect the way he and Peter Port had their conversations, and then when Leo, Greg would chime in, and then like there was one moment where Leo said something, and
I know exactly what it is. Hold on, I gotta pull it up.
Shut up, Leo. Like it was just perfect, like without missing a beat, without anything, and it was great. I was like, I'm enjoying this.
No, it was I marked it because when it was almost this week's It's a Gift, and then when it happened I was like, I can hear Michael rolling his eyes, which was the moment when Leo was concussed.
You can feel it all the way out in Alhambra.
They were talking about medical attention, and Leo said, goody, I'll have attention.
I love attention.
He said, I'll have attention. And I was like, I can hear you, Michael. I can hear you rolling your eyes.
The other thing, could Leo not have gotten medical attention for a concussion in Alamainia? Like, is the only thing in Alamainia, like he had to fly back to America for him to just like get his head checked out?
Right.
I was like, that's odd, but I'll go with it. Okay. And then I'm wondering, like, is this going to lead to like Dimitri's now going to stay in Alamainia? Andrew's bringing Leo back. I'm curious. Obviously, that's the point, is to be curious about like where does it go from here? Like, is Dimitri going to stay in Alamainia? Is that like?
I don't think so. I think we would have gotten a heads up about that. I think this is just a pause in that. This is where a pause actually is warranted, because just other things are rolling on. Dimitri, I think, needs to stay on Alamainia just for a few weeks to get this sorted out, because EJ just kidnapped Vivian, so we need to see that play out. And also Javi is still in Texas, so we need to see that play out. It's just a lot of balls in the air. Pun not intended. Pun not intended.
3 sets, actually. Anyway.
Also, just nice to see the gay characters interacting and more than 2 at a time. But there was a point where we had not a plethora of them, but more than 2 on at one time. So it's nice to get a little bit back to that.
And also, all the gay characters in a scene where it's not a who dated who scene.
Yeah, and it's not. It's there was actually some quality content in these scenes. It wasn't all like fluff. Do you remember way back in the day they introduced that gay character for Greta's friend, and they tried to make a Jack McFarlane from Will and Grace character? Oh my god, it was terrible. It was awful.
Yeah. Yep.
Glad we've evolved from
there.
We've
evolved from there. Yeah.
No. And then the whole thing with Vivian. So Vivian's grave must be like a smoke screen, right? Like. And then because we saw them. Okay, so what I remember seeing anyway, we saw them digging up at where Stefan's grave was, correct?
Yep.
And then did we see anything with the graves after that between when we saw that and when we saw Vivian and someone dropping the flower on it this week?
No.
Okay.
I have no idea what that was.
Yeah, I'm kind of
really
I immediately got like buried alive flashbacks.
I mean, it could be that too. Yeah.
I didn't know what we were supposed to glean.
We don't know what EJ did.
Headstone. I was like, wait, why is there a headstone of Vivian all of a sudden? Like, I didn't understand what was going on.
I mean, we don't know what Vivian did. We don't know what EJ did.
True. Yeah. Okay. I'm making sure I didn't miss something or.
No, you didn't miss anything.
I'm supposed to know exactly what. Okay.
No.
This Vivian dead now, not Stefan. Okay, great.
Who knows?
That's like in the official Emma's. The writers were just like, "Yep, now Vivian's dead, not Stefan."
Yeah.
Network notes.
Quick change. Yeah.
Nobody knows. Certainly not Leo with his head injury, and somebody who did want to sound off on Leo and his head injury are lovely Tacoma girls from Washington, and let's see what they had to say about Leo this week.
Hi, Sinead, it's Melissa. I'm Myrtle Hope.
I'm Patty.
And we're from Tacoma, Washington.
So this week we wanted to talk about Leo. I like Leo and Javi, but Leo and Dimitri, they're acting together. They play really well off each other. But I'm a little upset that they're trying to kill Leo. They're all saying he's got a major head injury. He's concussed. He's acting goofier than he usually is, which is a funny thing. But they want to stick him on a plane right away. You know you can't go right on a plane after a head injury, so don't hurt Leo. That's my rant. I like Leo.
Thanks, guys.
That's actually, I mean, it was said very silly, but that actually is a very...
Myrtle's like, kill the bitch. Like, who cares?
That actually is a very valid medical point that you should not get on a plane with a head injury. There is something called cabin pressure. You don't know what effects it will have.
But maybe it's on some special ISA concussion aeroplane.
It's still a plane. A plane is a plane. No.
I didn't question it. I was like, oh, he's on a plane back home. Okay, great.
No,
I just know you're not supposed to go to sleep if you think you have a concussion. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, so you get on the one. Oh, so you get on like an 8 to 10 hour flight where all you can do is sleep. Great.
We don't. It's days. People go from Japan to Salem, Australia, and it's like 2 hours.
The Concorde no longer exists. That is not a thing.
Except when Chad and Kat flew to Canada, and it took them like a day and a half.
Look, we never got confirmation that was a direct flight.
It was right there, but it took them. Anyway,
we never got confirmation that was a direct flight. It could have been like 3 different planes.
They had 4 stops. They were like
they had connections in Buffalo, Toronto, Winnipeg. Then they flew over to Vancouver and then back to wherever the hell they were. Yeah.
They were on
TSA's
Spirit.
been bad for
Spirit
years. We
Airlines.
don't know.
Anyway,
Spirit
yeah.
Airlines.
Anyways,
Spirit. They took Spirit. Is that what you said? They took Frontier to Canada.
before we wrap up this week's recap, several of our favorites have created their own segments for the show, which I actually very much
No,
like.
how did we go with 3 fan segments now? Like, what did I miss in the last 3 weeks? I was like,
You
what is
were
all
busy. You were busy, and so were they.
Oh,
this? Okay.
And we like them enough now that we're keeping them.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
These are fans in good standing. So we'll start off with the sound off highlight of the week.
Hi, it's Jen, Virgo fan from Nashville again. My weekly highlights. Of course, they're always going to involve EJ, my favorite. The EJ scenes, obviously, my favorite because I love them. So sad that they aren't together anymore, but they have the ultimate chemistry, whether or not they're lovers or, I guess, adversaries, you would call them. Their scenes are just fire. And then the scenes with Gwen, of course, when he's like screaming at her. They're just hilarious. Love them. But it was a great week. Had all my favorites. I had Gabby with Philip. Love them. So sweet. And Liam is becoming one of my favorites. I love him and Ari. Sad that Marissa will be leaving soon, but hopefully he'll have the same chemistry with the new Ari. So those are my highlights. Thanks. Bye.
Yes, and she's right. But I think mostly she's right because Dan just has chemistry with everybody. That is not a fangirl me thing. That is a critic me thing. I've said it from the beginning. He really just does have chemistry with everybody. It's kind of like unfair.
The furniture. He has
it's kind of
everything.
Stefano's portrait, the ring.
I wish I was as talented at something as Dan is as acting with everybody, because I would be unstoppable.
For our next sound off, we have, I believe it's Me World's scorecard.
It's official. JJ is a racist cop. I'm joking, guys. Chill. Anyway, minus 10 points for JJ. Hashtag Blue Bunny. Bro, Klaus is not black. Just take the shot. Shawn, minus 10. He's here. He ain't queer. He got shot and he pissed. Belle, minus 10. Because I wanted to. EJ, minus 10. Because he didn't shut up Belle like he shut up Paulina. Alex, plus 10. He was a gentleman and apologized to Jeremy after he sucker punched him, which cost him minus 5 points. Holly, minus 20. Because she lost it on her best friend. Rachel, minus 20. New actress. Boring Rachel. And finally, Ari, plus 20. Because she cut ties with Holly and that was very mature of her.
Okay.
I feel as just as you were pressing the button, Michael, I had the thought I should warn Michael.
And he made him shorter too. Good job.
What? That was a shorter one?
Yeah. Good job. Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, we have thumbs up, thumbs down.
Debbie, Franklin, Tennessee, with thumbs up, thumbs down. Thumbs up to Jeremy. You survived, buddy. You survived Alex's attack. So I'm happy about that. Thumbs down. These apologies, there's not enough of them. The half-hearted Alex and Jada apologies aren't enough. And we didn't even get to see Julie reunited with Jeremy at the hospital. But I am glad that Jeremy said, no, Alex, I don't want your reward money. So thumbs up to that, and thumbs down, we need more apologies. That's it. Bye.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreed, Debbie. And that was our fan segments, and that was your week of Days of Our Lives. And we will now move on to our segments. The 3 snaps. I was gonna say no, that's not it. Yeah, we don't have that because Tony's not here. So we'll start with the very much missed segment that is Michael's, which is.
I appreciate you saying it was missed.
Caption that.
You were gone a while.
It has. I've been gone for a month, and the thing's playing on repeat.
Caption that.
All right. This week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of the ever facially emoting Emily O'Brien, who always gives good face. We'll say that. And this week's caption goes to Jerry Gallup with their caption. This is the album that took Harry Styles 5 years to release. If you know, you know. If you don't, listen to it. I should say, honorable mention to one of our friends, Eric Martzoff, who decided to throw his hat in the caption ring with his caption, "Get that blonde wig away from me."
Oh, love it.
Bring him back the blonde wig. It's never going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you, Eric, and thank you, Jerry, for your captions.
Yes. Thumbs up to both of those. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Our next segment is
Those Were the Days.
All right, everyone, taking you far, far, far back to March 16th of 2025 last year, when we had the fallout of Johnny learning about his conception.
It's a year ago already.
I know, it's already been a year, and like we're still dealing, and that's probably why I picked this one, because we are literally still sort of dealing with a little bit of the fallout of this, and of course the Johnny and EJ relationship that has been melting a little bit. Hopefully we get some more scenes with them in the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I think this is a storyline that we were sort of optimistically waiting to see if they were ever going to tackle, or would they like sweep it under the rug. We never really knew, but we sort of got our answer last year, and really, really loved the way that it unfolded, and who did it. I thought was a brilliant way to use Roman here and to use Kate. And so yeah, that was March 16th, 2025, when we saw the fallout of Johnny learning about his conception.
Whew, that was a lot. And that was
Those were the days.
And now it's time for my segment.
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a Gift once again goes to Emily O'Brien, who takes the lines and just with a little gesture adds some oomph. When she says that the Curiox men are a handful, and then uses a handful.
I get it.
You know, that's a very, very spot on reaction you would have to fill up in his quirkiness, like coming at you, I think, for no good reason at all, when you don't even know.
No damn good reason.
Right.
Messing up my drink.
Right.
If anything,
My
it's
afternoon.
understated on Gwen's part, but just the magic that is Emily O'Brien. So thank you for that, Emily.
Yeah.
And that was
Ooh, that was, what was that? That was
It's a gift.
And now we move on to
News and gossip.
Starting with some casting information, and yet again we talk about this kid, this phenom, once every couple weeks, because he has 4 television shows out, and apparently now another movie. Carrie Christopher's new movie Outcome comes out April 10th on Apple TV. This one is directed by Jonah Hill and actually stars Keanu Reeves, a coming out of retirement Cameron Diaz, and Matt Bomer. And just big congrats to Carrie Christopher. This again. Yes.
And you missed a very important and, Justin. Susan freaking Lucci.
Oh, that's right. Susan Lucci's in this too.
Very prominent in the trailer.
Okay. And Susan Lucci. So.
Justin.
God. Oh, Susan Lucci's not on Days? Got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Did I miss her guest spot?
Oh, gosh.
No, what did I see about this show? This show actually looks pretty. I saw the trailer for it, and I don't remember what context I saw the trailer for it. It was something to do with Susan Lucci, actually. But yeah, this actually looks like a solid show, and some heavy hitters like Keanu Reeves and Cameron Diaz, Matt Bomer. Who else in that? Yeah, looks like a good one. But yeah, I think Lucci plays someone's mom.
So yeah, big congrats to Carrie Christopher. This is countless movies. The kid's on a roll. He's got an amazing.
He's had a busy 11 months since he's.
Yeah.
Good for him. Get that college.
And yeah, if you've watch his Instagram, he's been doing a lot of stuff about weapons. Of course, if you didn't know, Amy Madigan won for Best Supporting Actress, who was his co-star, and just their scenes together is what made that movie. If you haven't seen Weapons, go check it out. And everyone, as Amy has sort of been getting her praises and winning awards for it, everyone has been singling out Carrie as like, oh my God, like acting opposite him is what makes sort of their scenes and what makes her character so very terrifying. If you haven't seen it, go watch Weapons. It's amazing, and Carrie's amazing in it. But yeah, big congrats to him. I'm sure he has one more show coming out of the 4 or 5 we will talk about probably in another month or so. But yeah, big congrats to him. Next up, we have Miss Jen Lilly. She makes her return to Hallmark after a 4-year hiatus in a new Hallmark movie called A Royal Setting. This one is actually going to debut next Saturday, March 28th on the Hallmark channels, and I'm sure it will be repeated over all of Hallmark's platforms. So go check that one out. A Royal Setting starring Jen Lilly. And then last but not least, this has been sort of making its rounds. It's kind of casting adjacent, but everyone's favorite Ken, Mr. Ryan Gosling, sat down with Josh Horowitz for his very popular Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, where he recounted how he used to fake being sick when he was younger so he could stay home and watch Days of Our Lives. Everything from recalling Marlena being possessed by the devil to having to get used to a new beau when Robert Capa Kelly took over. He then goes on to praise soap opera actors. It even talks about how he went to go revisit Days. It must have been maybe a year ago or so. And then he came upon the scenes of Marlena being repossessed from a couple of years ago. So he had like this weird existential moment of like, this is happening on the show again. The last time I sort of put down Days was after she was possessed. So go check it out. It's a fun little aside, but Ryan definitely has a lot of praise and good fortune for soap opera actors. And he specifically talks about Deidre Hall a lot in how good she is. So go check that out. It's really it's a great interview.
And good for him for continuing that conversation when the interviewer was like, can't agree with you there, man. I was like, oh God.
They sort of dismissed it, and it like proved his point of like he's trying to say give soap opera actors flowers and how much they have to learn, and you know, you only get one take sometimes. So good on Ryan. He's always been a big champion of just good work. And again, if you don't know Ryan's history, he started out on the Mickey Mouse Club back then. Go watch those clips. I'm sure you can find them online. So he is someone who has never shied away from his past or shied away from sort of different facets of the entertainment industry. So good on him. So yeah, maybe. As soon as this sort of went live, you heard the echoes of Ryan needs to make a cameo on Days. Ryan, they need to get Ryan, which stranger things have happened. That's how we got that James Franco stint on General Hospital years ago. That still reverberates to this day. So stranger things have happened. I think Ryan also has the sense of humor. I wouldn't be surprised if they could make something like that happen as a fun little joke. But
we got Dick Van Dyke a few years ago. Guys, we're soap fans. We can do anything. We can do anything we set our mind to. That being said, I don't think that Ryan Gosling is on social media. So if we want this to reverberate loud enough for him to hear it, we got to reach out to people that he knows. Okay. So if you know someone, give him a shout out and let them know
Eva
that
Mendes. She'll
That's what I was gonna say. Is Eva Mendes on Instagram?
I think she is. So just like let them know that this is actually actively an active conversation that's going on soap social media right now, where like we praise him, for giving soap fans and soap actors their flowers. We would welcome him. Come to the community. We will welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, so go check out the interview. It's again Happy, Sad, Confused podcast on all streaming platforms, and you can actually watch the interview on YouTube. Same name under their channel.
All right, next up, former Philip and Rex. No, was it
Philip?
Philip. Yeah. Yeah, former Philip. Oh yeah, I was like, because there's a lot of people with shows now. Former Philip Kiriakis, Kyle Brandt, had some fun with his co-host on his show, Good Morning Football, when they did a little recap of his time on Days, as well as dissecting his soap opera digest cover story from 2003. Kyle took it in stride and gave a reenactment of his last line as Philip. You can check out the clip on @Days Peacock right now. Former Angelica Devereaux, Morgan Fairchild, sat down with Greg Rickard and Rebecca Budig for the Soapy podcast that they host, in which Morgan detailed her rise to fame, her ongoing love affair with soap operas. She still does guest appearances on General Hospital right now. She's kind of got like a guest recurring role there, as well as her groundbreaking activism in the beginning of her career. You can check out her interview on the CBS YouTube page, Soapy Podcast, right now. And Carson Boatman, during a recent New Jersey stop with the Day Players, expressed his appreciation for his time on Days and hopes that he gets to play Johnny again in the near future. In the meantime, Carson is focusing on his music, and you can check out his new single "Wild Thing" on all streaming platforms. Yeah, guys, he plays a legacy character. I have no doubt we'll see him again.
Yeah. And next up, we finally got word of when the Emmys will be taking place. Big surprise, I think, to a lot of us. We thought we were sort of reverting back to the old timing, but looks like we are staying fast in the fall of the year. Looks like the daytime Emmys have been announced that they are going to take place on Friday, October 30th of this year, 2026, somewhere in Hollywood/Los Angeles. But we will definitely be keeping you posted on nominees and presenters and hosts and all that good stuff as sort of information comes trickling in over the next few months. But
in the next 8 months,
I know daytime Emmys we haven't gotten word yet if they will also open up tickets like they did last year for people to come. This is a very interesting time. This is the latest that they've ever been. Last year, I believe, was September, right?
October. They were mid-October.
Yeah.
Oh, they were mid-October. Oh, God.
Year
Okay,
before that, they were in June, but then the year
June,
before
yeah.
that, they were in December because they delayed because of the strikes.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of all over the place a little bit, but it was in June for a very long time. And
yeah. So yeah, it's back in the fall of this year. So again, we will keep you updated as things progress regarding the daytime Emmys.
I really hope it's not like they're saying, oh, they're in Hollywood, and then they end up being like in Long Beach or San Bernardino.
I know it says Hollywood, and I was like, do they mean that literally or figuratively?
I'll give you this context. Last year, because these people also run the Children and Family Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this year, like a couple of weeks ago, the Children and Family Emmys, they moved them to New York. But last year in 2005, they were held at Television City, the old CBS facility, which they always consider that facility Hollywood, even though it's technically outside of Hollywood proper. So maybe they're going to be held, since they held one of their Emmys ceremonies there one year, they may hold it there. If they do mimic what they did with the Children and Family Emmys at Television City last year, it will be a very, very small carpet, because the Children and Family Emmys was a very, very small carpet. So we'll see.
But we know how to squeeze. We know how to squeeze. Don't please don't deny
people in the media learn how to do on a red carpet, it is to make the most of the least amount of space possible.
And the least amount of time possible.
Yeah. So we'll see where they are. Hopefully they're at a good venue, and
On the bright side, it's going to take us from here to October to figure out the new rules. So, yes, there are also new rules announced. If you missed that, it's going to take me a while to kind of sort through that. I'm really glad I don't have to be a submitter in order to figure that out. But yes, so October 30th. Mark your calendars, people. That is when this year's daytime Emmys are held. And no, you will not have to wait that long for our Dishin Days awards. We will figure that out much sooner. There's not a date announcement, but I promise you it's not going to be in October.
Mm-hmm.
And that was
News and gossip.
And we're just going to skip events this week. And so we'll go on to this week's promo, or next week's promo for this week's Days of Our Lives.
Next week on Days of Our Lives.
Call this hearing to order. Please note that I will rule on the second request at its conclusion.
A few of the reasons I love you.
On a happier note, have you heard the news about Vivian?
Jeremy, I couldn't have gotten through that ordeal without you.
We know why Holly's blood test results showed that she was on antipsychotic meds.
This adoption cannot be finalized until the court hears from one last person.
How cute was that kid in that promo?
I know.
Yeah.
That kid totally took me out of whatever I was like, that kid's cute.
That kid looks like Baby Will, the kid who played Baby Will back in the day. It like jarred me for a second. I was like, wait.
You're right.
I maybe find it. I could find a photo of it to compare them. But yeah, it just like pulled me back when I saw it. I was like, that kid's really cute. But yeah, it reminds me of the kid who played Baby Will back in the day.
Oh, you're right. It just took me out. Like I was watching the promo, I was watching I was like, wow, that kid is happier than a pig in shit. Just like, yeah, cute kid.
And that was this week's Dishin Days. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We will be back next week with a whole new episode. Before we leave, please, I will remind everyone to follow Mr. Michael Mattis. Where are you, Mr. Michael Mattis?
On Instagram at MLMattis and at MLM Images LA.
And you can find Mr. Justin Lee Hareld.
Find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323 Araceli. You can also find Tony everywhere on at Loungin' with Tony. Make sure to follow us on all our social media. Dishin Days Show on Facebook, at Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on X/Twitter and Threads. Please make sure to like us on YouTube, all that good stuff. Follow our friend James Jr. Like this video if you've been watching. If you like what you see, come back next week and we'll do it all again. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week for another episode of Dishin Days. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good Sunday.
Bye.
Whoops, one more button.